Welcome back to Auxhart Gardening. It's time for a garden tour. It is another lovely day here in South Carolina. Just kidding, it's kind of cold and rainy, but yesterday was really lovely. It was like 60 something degrees outside. I was working outside in a t-shirt. The sky was beautiful. I wish that today was like that for you guys, but unfortunately we are going again back and forth. Oh, look at Kata go. We are going back and forth between these lovely, warm, beautiful days and these like colder, rainier days. And that's just how this season goes for us. But I have been working on some stuff and I'm excited to show you. By and large, the garden hasn't really changed very much since you last saw it. Most things are growing, and the things that weren't growing are still not growing. The garlic over here is looking great. It's all along right under here on this trellis where I'm going to put tomatoes in a couple of months. And I think I might have looked at this one last week. It had just started putting out a new little baby leaf, and that leaf has grown up. I do not see yet another baby leaf in there, but this is looking great. Because we've had the warm weather, you know, the pace at which things are growing is starting to pick up just a little bit, especially because we're slowly getting more and more sunlight every day. Which reminds me to remind you that when you're looking at days to harvest on a seed packet, that is usually assuming ideal conditions, right? And that is ideal temperature and ideal amount of sunlight. And so things, when they're colder than they would like to be, even if it's not killing them, that's slowing them down. And when they're not getting as much light as they would want, that is also slowing them down. So those are things to take into account when you are deciding, do I have enough time to grow this thing? Oh my goodness, Kata has treed a squirrel. You see her right there at the base of that tree. And then up in that little tree, there is a little squirrel running around. She's not gonna get it. She's not that fast. Alright, so back to the garden. So in the second row here, I have onions that are like kind of down the middle. You can see now a little bit better that the row is a little wonky, as it kind of always is. But these are starting to actually look like they're growing, which is great, instead of just surviving. You can see this is one of the last tips of leaf here and here that was damaged by that freeze that we had, and everything else is looking absolutely great. The warmth means that the weeds are enjoying themselves as well. I think I have more weeds in my garden than plants right now. I'm starting to mulch the paths. I did one load yesterday and I had places to be, so I didn't finish it up. But I would like to finish it up soon and get this wood mulch path all the way down in here. So on the trellises here, I am planning on direct seeding very soon. I might have done it already if I had the time. Peas here. Also, if we take a look at these little plants that I've had started, I do need to come through with like some tiny scissors and start thinning these, but overall they are looking pretty darn good. Again, maybe another couple of weeks before those are big enough to transplant out into the garden. Back behind the trellises in the area where I have had several failed carrot attempts, the wild onions are still going strong. I keep trying to pull them out and then I keep finding more of them. Wild onions, they're perfectly edible, but they're just not as good as the cultivated varieties. So since I'm growing so many onions already, I generally don't need these to be here. And I would like to have more control about where things show up in my garden, which is why I usually pull these out. But if you find them just around, even in your lawn, as long as you're not spraying anything, you can definitely pull them out and eat them. Last week I harvested from this Brussels sprout. And yeah, there's not really much more to pull off at this point. You can see some of the sprouts kind of forming in here, but a lot of them are still kind of on the smaller side. I can feel the rain starting to pick up again, so I'm gonna go show you guys what I was working on yesterday. So you guys have seen my one raised bed. I now have a second raised bed. This one is still only half full, but as you can see, I have been trying to empty out all of the pots that didn't have anything growing in them. This old potting soil has gone into here. And I filled this mostly the same way that I did the last one. So if you're interested in how to save money on filling up giant raised beds like this, I'll link my video to how I did this one. So the plan with that, if you missed my video where I talked about the plans for the spring garden, is mostly more herbs, a lot of annuals. I in particular am looking forward to growing marshmallow in it. But basically I've got it most of the way filled, and from there I'm gonna add in some compost on top, and then I'm gonna mulch over that, probably with straw, because the wood chips that I did in the other bed were just a little too large and heavy for that area. All right, I need to go inside before the rain really starts coming down, but I'm gonna go get this video out to you guys, and I will see you again very soon for starting seeds. Until then, happy gardening.